This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields, and we're back in the normal setup. No car, lights dim, but it's the same situation as yesterday. Rays win 4-1 for the second straight day. And this game felt a little bit different than the first game. It felt like the Rays were more in control of this game. Like I said yesterday, I felt like the Rays kind of stole one. The Nationals went 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And in this one, the Rays only allowed one hit before the eighth inning when things got a little bit crazy. But, you know, like we've been talking about, a lot of stuff we talked about kind of came to fruition in this game. So we're going to talk about how Ryan Pepiot was really good, how Jackson Caminero came up clutch in that eighth inning, and the Rays are doing what they're supposed to do in this one as the Rays go for the sweep tomorrow, as we were going to look ahead to that game. But first, we got to talk about, and something we've been talking about the last 10 days, homers equal wins.
This is what you'll be talking about.
When the Rays hit home runs, they win. It's as simple as that. And I'm so happy that Josh Lowe is the one that got the big hits today, because he's been sneakily putting together a good solid 10 days or so. So before this game, Josh was had hits in like 8 of his last 10 games, or 5 of his last like 7 games. That will extend today. And I feel like he's just putting together better at bats, kind of settling in a little bit more and having a really strong end to the month. And that's why he was our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Yeah, I love about Josh too. Both those home runs were no doubters. The one to dead center, you love to see. I don't think there's any better home run in baseball than one just to straight out dead center. And, you know, the second one was just absolutely peppered. 423 off the bat. That's the Josh Lowe we've been waiting for. And I was just so happy to see a guy that has been ridiculed by me too. I've given Josh Lowe his fair share of crap this year. No doubt about it. But I also said, I think eventually he's going to come out of it. He's too good not to. Now, is he hitting 290, 2020 good? Maybe not. But he's not hitting 235 bad with less than 10 home runs bad. You know, I think he can be a solid 260 hitter, 15 home runs, can steal 20 bases. And that should be his expectation. So I'm glad that we're seeing that for Josh right now. So again, cannot say enough good things about Josh Lowe. And I shout out to Kevin Cash. You know, Kevin Cash, another guy that's been piled on a lot this year. He's kept Josh Lowe in the lineup. He's played him against lefties when Josh Lowe struggled against lefties a lot this year. And he's kept the faith. And I'm sure that's done a lot for Josh Lowe's confidence as well. But let's get to our turning point, which happened to come in the 8th inning.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Kevin Cash tried to buy time with Mason Englert going to 3rd inning, and it just didn't work. He was decent for the first 2 innings, and in that 8th inning, things started to kind of fall apart for him. And I think he went to him for one batter too long. So for the 8th, it started out with the Garcia double, then a singles, 1st and 3rd, and then Wood singled. But before Wood came up, I thought the pitching change should have been made right there. But Wood singled his 1st and 3rd, nobody out, tying run to the plate. Griffin Jacks comes in. What does he do? Strikes out swinging, strikes out looking, and then a walk. Things got iffy, tying run on base, and then we get one of those patented, it seems like, Junior bare-handed plays to throw out the runner. He did it in Anaheim. He did it again today, and man, it was clutch. Everyone's always going to talk about Junior Caminero's offense because it's been so good this year, but the strides he's made defensively has been, I think, not more noteworthy, but well worth the discussion. Because what Junior has done defensively, what he looked like from a defensive liability through the first 25 games, where Jose Caballero would have to take Junior out of the game because of how bad he was defensively, to now being more than serviceable, I'd say even maybe above average of the position since the All-Star break, is something that I don't think is being talked about enough in a good way, because he's been so prolific offensively. So again, can't say enough about Junior. Griffin Jacks, that's the stuff that the Rays traded a promising arm in Taj Bradley for right there. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, strike out, get out of it. Same thing with the Angels, bases low, nobody out, strike out. That's the stuff they got Griffin Jacks for. His stuff is there. It's just how consistent can he be? This year he's been a little like this. I think an offseason under Rays control, he's going to bounce right back next year and have an even better season. But, this game is what makes the last game in Cleveland so brutal. So the Rays clinch at least a 500 road trip, and they should have been 5-1 this road trip. It's a missed opportunity, that game in Cleveland, because now if the Mariners were to lose today, you'd have been 4.5 back going into the last game before the Mariners come to Steinbrenner for a big series. So look, there's still a lot of season left. The Mariners lost last night, so the Rays aren't out of it by any means. But like I said, we're not talking about Rays playoff chances until it's more realistic. But I just wanted to highlight again how brutal that loss was on Wednesday, and a string of just brutal losses in the season for the Rays. But we're going to celebrate the wins maybe with twice as much energy, 2 times as much energy, because of how painfully hard they've been to come by this year. So again, that 8th inning was our turning point, because that was the only time the Nationals threat. In the first inning, Pepiot had his fair share of walks, but he got out of it fine. He had a walk in the first, a walk in the second, walk in the third, and then he was only in the fourth, but that came out immediately on double play. He 1, 2, 3, fifth, and then the walk in the sixth, 1, 2, 3, seventh. So really the only time the Nationals even got a runner into scoring position was in the 8th inning, and that was the threat, and the Rays shut it down. So it was good to see Jackson, a high leverage spot, come through again. Because the last high leverage spot he was in, obviously he had the pitch where he should have threw another sweeper, gave up the fastball, and obviously he got walked off in Cleveland. But you take this all the time as a Rays fan, seeing the guy that you gave up a lot for. Taj Bradley didn't have a good year. That's still giving up a lot for Griffin Jackson, promising arm that has showed flashes of having ace level stuff, and he's finally starting to show that potential for sure. So we're going to talk about Ryan Pepiot and how the Rays are doing what they're supposed to do, and then look ahead to the game tomorrow right after this. This episode is brought to you by Upside. Hey Rays fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make it up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true too, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let the offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. This episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth. Whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments, and even in when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for the people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. And Monarch does a great job of showing where you're spending too much and how you can allocate that money, whether it's you're spending too much on streaming services or DoorDash or stuff like that. Monarch does a good job of narrowing it down and getting that money and things that can assist you. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Again, if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a like. And let's talk about Ryan Pepiot. And it's kind of like he's in that Drew Rasmussen mode where he's only going 5 innings. And yes, he had 93 pitches in his 5 innings. It was a little bit different than the last time they got him out. But I think Kevin Cash is going to be really hesitant to use his pitchers and overextend them, basically. So not that Ryan Pepiot would have gone out for a 6th inning if this was the middle of June and the Rays were right in the thick of it. But I do think going forward, you're going to see more of this from Kevin Cash and pulling these guys early. But Pepiot goes to 10-10 on the year, 10 wins for him. Again, it was working. His fastball, to me, had a little bit of an extra kick in it. And, most of the time his fastball sits His fastball sits 94, 95. His yearly average right about 95. His max today was 98. He juiced that thing up, and he was heavy fastball changeup. 47 fastballs, 32 changeups, and he played off the slider with that a little bit as well. So I mean, Ryan Pepiot was fantastic once again. He's doing what you want out of your second and third pitcher, and that's what the Rays expect out of him going into next year. So let's preview the game tomorrow, as the Rays are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're taking care of business against a team that's out of it. And I'm telling you, the key yesterday was scoring first. And that three-run home run early, I'm telling you, is like a punch in the gut to the Nationals because of what it just does. It's like, here we go again, right? But for the Rays, they're going to face the best pitcher ERA-wise that the Nationals have. Brad Lord. He's out of Tallahassee, Florida. I'm sure he's happy with what's going on with the Seminoles right now. But he was not a starter all year. He's just making his 13th start. His last time out against the Yankees, 4 1/3, 8 hits, 6 earned. He's given up 4 earned his last 2 games. But his good stretch came in August. In August, only allowed 6 earned runs, and that was over 16 and 2/3 innings. So he had a really good stretch there. But he's really been a starter in August. He has a 5.47 ERA. So again, the Rays have the starting pitching advantage because we get to see Ian Seymour go to the mound for his second start as a Ray, and his first start could not have gone any better for him. 5 innings, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts. He was fantastic. Hopefully, he's a little bit more stretched out. He only went 67 pitches last time, ended up getting to 5 innings. Hopefully, if he gets to 6-7 innings, that he can get into that 6th inning and work up to that 80 pitch count. So again, if the Rays score first, you're really, really looking at some good things. And the Rays are looking for their first sweep since the Royals series. And we all know how that kind of ended up turning the season for the Rays in a bad way after that game. So I'm going to keep circling that game against Cleveland, the game against Seattle, the game against Boston. There's just a few of them that was just extra gut punches. I talked about it. I talked about it yesterday, and it was those are the ones you're going to look back at when the Rays don't make the playoffs. Like, man, those were tough ones. Those were tough ones. So now let's get to the comments as we will go to Matt H. He said, now the Nats have been outscored 43-16 over the last 7 games. That's what I'm talking about. Don't let them up for air. Keep down the hammer tomorrow. Score first, score early. Let them doubt. Let that doubt creep back in their head, saying, "Oh, geez, here we go again." Right? As Mike H. also says, Nats broadcast said Jackson Rocco Baldelli had a confrontation the day before he was traded to the Rays for Taj. Rocco put him out there for a game extended time, and again, that was out of reach. Yeah, I saw that actually. That was actually reported earlier. So yeah, it's never good for guys. These guys want to win, and when the season's going down the drain like the way that the trends were, so I don't really blame Griffin Jacks for doing all that. So as we go to Gary, says, good to see Josh Lowe break out with 2 home runs. Bryan Baker goes 5 and the bullpen holds on, believes for victory. Yeah, and I thought that was good length that Mason Engler is able to give. He's been, I'm not going to say like sleeper MVP. He's been good for the Rays. And if you'd have told the Rays before what they're going to get out of Mason Engler and this was it, they would have 100% taken it every single time. As we go to Charlie Smith, is J. Lowe with a much-needed comeback game. # Raise Up. I love it. I love seeing Josh Lowe. The talent's there, man. The reason why the Rays still believe in him. And we saw it today. I love Legos touch on it again. It's nice to see that J. Lowe is bouncing back 100%. As we go to Doug's Bautista, he said that's the Jacks we thought we were getting, clutch, high leverage for sure. That's that Jacks we expect to get going forward. Our Genius is in here. He says, "What's up?" Lauren Kendrick says, "Raise up." As yes, there's a people talking about Ian Seymour is scheduled to pitch tomorrow, not Rasmussen. Rasmussen will pitch in the Seattle series. Him and Shane Baz will both be the first 2 pitchers in there. Then I think Hauser. It goes Hauser. We can look at that tomorrow. So Mike Case talks about, again, we saw it today why the Rays stick with Josh Lowe, his potential power. Yeah, no, for sure. As we go to Gary, Randy Rosarena returns to Tampa. Yeah, that's going to be a tugging on the heartstrings a little bit. So that would be something. So I love it. He says, nice outing by Pepiot for sure. I couldn't ask for more out of Pepiot today. The walks were a little bit of a problem. Has some long at bats too, but you take that if you're the Rays every single time. Again, so Brad Lord has been a good pitcher, but since he started, he's struggled a little bit. So like I said, he has 42 appearances. This should just be his 13th start. So every single time they've started him, he's given up, he's had some good starts earlier in the season, but he had a stellar June with just a 1 ERA. Since then, the ERA's creeped up every month. His ERA went from 1 to 3.2, which isn't bad considering how good he was in June. But you go to August and his ERA is 5.4, the highest that it's been all year. So things look like they're trending down for Brad Lord, which hopefully trends down for one more game against the Rays. And then, we can kind of go from there. So again, I appreciate you guys continuing to hop in here. Let's hope we can talk about a sweep tomorrow. That'll really give the Rays some nice momentum. They're playing good baseball right now, man. I feel like they've been playing good baseball for a little bit, and it seems like, that the breaks are finally starting to go their way a little bit. So make sure you guys leave a like before we head out of here. I appreciate all you guys joining once again, and I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. 1:35 start tomorrow. A little bit of an awkward start time for the Rays, but so we'll be live right around 4. So I appreciate everyone for joining, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.